Hey, what's up guys? Sir Emanon here, back with another episode of Road to 1000 Dueling Book Rating. This time I'm actually going to be playing the Lunalight Orcust build up against Infernoid today. And yes, I know a lot of you guys are going to be wanting to see some Time Thief Lunalight gameplay, but I need to actually catch up on some older gameplay footage that I haven't gotten around to record yet for this series, so do bear with me. I didn't get the chance to play the deck unrated, obviously, until the cards were officially legal for the TCG, since, you know, Dueling Book is it abides by TCG sets and whatnot. So this is actually a game that was kind of logged from like a week or so ago. So yeah, I have a couple of games to sort of like catch up from back then before we get into actual Time Thief Lunalight gameplay. So again, bear with me on that. I apologize for it. It will be coming pretty soon, but yeah. So first things first, before we get into it, I just want to say again, thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. I actually hit that mark yesterday. Actually, it would be 2 days ago as of when this video goes live. But yeah, we actually hit this milestone, and I am super happy about that. So yeah, thank you guys. I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. You guys are an amazing community. I'm really happy that, you know, kind of the message of my channel is sort of like focused on giving you guys information and trying to just expand the collective sort of knowledge base of the community. And I think that, you know, I think we've done a good job of that, hopefully. But yeah, anyways, let's just go ahead and get into the gameplay here. So yeah, we are going first in this game, and the first game isn't really that exciting, but the second one is a bit of a doozy, so grab your popcorn just in case you want to see a nice grind. But yeah, game one we go first, and he basically doesn't have any hand traps, so we're able to combo off pretty freely. Our hand is really good. So yeah, we can pretty much do what we want. Here I opt to search Collider Chick instead of a second copy of Tiger, just to play around hand traps. You know, just like impermanent stuff. Because, you know, Armageddon Knight again is like a bit of a weaker card. I still like playing it in the Orcust build just to have, you know, more starter cards. But yeah, like just again, whenever you have the choice between like a card that's subtle to hand traps and one that basically is impervious to them, the choice is pretty easy to make there in most cases. So we are just going to go off with our standard combo here. The combo basically for Orcust, if you guys kind of just want to have a basic idea of it, is pretty much the same. Like you can still get to well, it's actually not the same because you don't have Azathoth anymore, but like it's the same as what you could have done previously if you didn't want to go Azathoth. Like you could have done this whole play the entire time, like just go 4 Strix and then make Barricade and then do that play. Of course, dangers make things a little bit easier to get to Curious, but yeah, you can still get to Curious off just the 2-card play if you play Barricade. So yeah, that's what we do here. And Curious is obviously going to send the Nightmare now instead of Harp, which is fine. Again, it just basically means that you have one less body, but essentially the ceiling is still very much there. Yeah, so we are just going to use Chick to bring back the... Tiger to bring back Chick after we make Curious. We'll go Appaloosa for 2, just in case he has Nibiru at this point. And then we have a Foolish remaining, and we already have Wand Engrave that we hit off the Jackalope earlier, and we milled the symbol off of the Nightmare. And you actually notice the Eagle booster here. Yeah, so if you guys did check out my last Lunalight Orcust deck profile, I was like playing around with like this card in like the side deck, and I actually experimented with maining this card for a little bit. It was alright. It actually came up in one of the Dueling Book matches that I played, but I'm not going to post that one since you know, the guy kind of just quit. That's kind of also the reason why, by the way, like the numbers change as far as like the rating and the like the win-loss record, even though it doesn't show, like the games don't show up on my channel. It's because they're like either just low quality games that like didn't have very many, you know, discussion points, or people just quit. So yeah, that's kind of just the logic behind that, in case you guys weren't aware. But yeah, this Foolish is going to send Emerald Bird because it's the last good thing that we have to send. We have all of our Orcust pieces engraved already, so might as well just get another actual, you know, extender. So yeah, we don't even have to use a Zephyrus in this combo, which is pretty nice. Yeah, because we drew the we milled the symbol. We kind of had to do it in a different way where we use symbol first, because Nightmare doesn't have any targets to send because I only play 1 wand, 1 symbol. So we have to do it in this route where we get a target for Galatea to shuffle back. That way we can Nightmare resend it and then wand back the Nightmare. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to make the Dingirsu to reattach to the wand and then make IP. So yeah, this is like pretty much the same board, just like minus the rank 4, which is like okay. If we got the Zephyrs to grave, which we could have easily done if we wanted to, but I just didn't feel it was necessary. Like I could have gotten Barricade and then gotten a little bit of an extra step, but I just didn't feel like that was needed. I felt like this play was like pretty fine. Because like the board in general is crackable even if you have a rank 4, and like this format it's kind of unclear as to what rank 4 is the best one to blind, because you could argue like Nightmare is good in certain instances against certain combo decks, but Dweller is still good if like you play Orcust, which is running around on DuelingBook more than it is like at actual tournament representation at the moment. So yeah, like there's like too many things. Like you can play backrow decks too, so like Dweller and Nightmare are both dead in that case. So like, but regardless, it's like the board's crackable anyways, like even if you have a rank 4. So it's nice to just have the follow-up play just in case this gets stopped, which like we will. So yeah, he uses Reborn to target the Dingirsu, which forces that symbol right away. A little bit unfortunate, but we do have to, of course, chain the symbol. We have a little bit of protection here thanks to Dingirsu being able to attach, but that is one interruption gone. So he has the 1-for-1 to get out a Decatron, which I'm not too perturbed by because we have Appaloosa to negate the Decatron, which we do right here. He's going to use Reasoning. Obviously we call 1 because we know he's on Infernoid already. But he actually hits a Phantasme. So yeah, it's a little bit good for him, I suppose, because the alternative was just hitting Decatron. I guess Lilith could be a case too, but yeah, he hits Phantasme. So he goes into battle phase, I believe. He attacks. I let it go through because I'm just going to protect it with Dingirsu because I want to save this interrupt for something more important. And he uses Imagination, and this is a prime time to use IP for Unicorn to spin it back. Or Phoenix, either way. And that gets Zephyrs engraved, so we get the extra follow-up next turn anyway, and we can easily ode to carry, so he just scoops. And then game 2 is the very, very long grind game, as I mentioned. So yeah. So he is actually going to be going first, and he opens up Vanishment, so he's able to just get Feast online right away. And Infernoid is actually really, really good against this deck if it gets the right setup, because like DD Crow, the deck is really, really powerful against the deck that wants its graveyard setup. Particularly the Orcust build that relies more on its graveyard than other variants, so yeah. That is definitely not very good for us. We didn't draw any interaction. Our hand is really, really powerful, but yeah, it's just kind of hard when, you know, we have to kind of contend with the Infernoids disrupting us all the time. So he sends Anunku and Deviati. The one with the counter is Anunku, so that's the spell trap negator, and the Deviati is the monster negation. So yeah, that's the best way to kind of counter this in my mind is to just try and attack over the small Decatrons and then work from there. So that's precisely what I'm going to try and do. Use Tenki. I see if he's going to go for a negation, because like normally I wouldn't do this because like I have a danger, but I figured that it's all right because like he's probably not going to negate the first thing I activate when I have 5 cards in hand, and he knows like the ceiling of my deck. So he lets that go through. I get Cloudchick to my hand. I just normal summon it. And then I use Snake. He hits a Perfume, which is pretty good, because that allows me to just summon the Snake out for free. And I pick up an Eagle Booster, which is pretty dead here. I wasn't sure if he was blinding second, because some Infernoid builds do choose to go second, simply because Imagination is such a big blowout. But in any case, I kept an Eagle Booster. But anyways, yeah, so this is like 2 monsters that can just beat over the Decatrons. So I know he can suggest Tribute to get rid of the Perfume, but that was probably going to happen regardless. So yeah, I go battle phase, and he uses Sujet, and then he banishes my Perfume. So I just attack over the Decatron that's like an Anunku. So he already used his DD Crow, and I don't have any negations, so all I have to worry about is potential hand traps. So yeah, now we go ahead and use Cloudchick. We didn't want to do that earlier because if he DD Crow'd that, then my Perfume in my hand is dead. So that's why I did it in that order. So next play is obviously to use Perfume. We can go ahead and overlay for a Force Strix to grab our Zephyros. So we are in a pretty good spot here. We're able to get this Tiger play. So what I do here is I go for Curious just so that I can get this Nightmare out of my hand. So I send another Perfume, the last Perfume actually. get the Nightmare to grave, and then get another Tiger. So there's a couple of different lines that I could have maybe chosen, or I could have chosen to do here possibly. I don't have a battle phase, so like the problem is I want to clear the Sajet, because if I go for Orcust plays and go for Babel, which is what I intend to do, then Sajet interrupting my graveyard is kind of annoying. Obviously he has the Seismus that he pitched off of the Vanishment, so he's gonna get it back, but at least like I'll be able to have, you know, some interactivity, you know, instead of him just being able to like shotgun the Sajet and then, you know, interrupt my grave at any point. Plus the fact that they have to target means that I can chain anything in response if I have Babel up. So like getting Babel online is pretty good, because it mitigates the impact that the Infernoids have, because like the Infernoids would obviously want to get rid of stuff like Dingirsu or like Symbol, or, you know, whatever other Orcust card that I have, but Babel just kind of makes it really awkward for them. Like it makes it so that the onus is kind of on him, and then I can play a little bit more reactively, which is what I would want to do anyways. And if he doesn't do anything, then like I just wait until my next turn and clear his board. So that's all right. I use Martin here to bounce a Tiger, and then yeah. So like the idea is like I can Longirsu send the Sajet, because, you know, it doesn't matter since I don't have a battle phase anyway. So yeah, I can Longirsu clear it, or I can Unicorn clear it. My thought was I wanted to make Appaloosa after everything, so I wanted to make Unicorn so that I could go into Appaloosa afterwards, because if I go for a Longirsu, I can't Appaloosa afterward, right? So like that was kind of my idea. But the other line could have been to go a more Orcust heavy route and then end on like an Evil Swarm Nightmare, because I had a Zephyros engraved still. So like I could have done all these plays and then go for a Longirsu. Like I could go like Galatea and then like get Babel and then Longirsu and then like Symbol bring back something, and then like overlay Dingirsu. Like there are a lot of different things I could have chosen to do, but I ultimately thought that Appaloosa was kind of like the thing that I wanted to end on, just so that I could also get more interruptions. So yeah, I go for the Unicorn like I mentioned, clear the Sajet, and then I go Appaloosa. Yeah, so it has 2 negations on it. I have another Tiger activation, and from here I can just do my 4 Orcust play. I don't believe I have... Yeah, I have no other Orcust names engraved besides Nightmare, so it's just the standard play of Orcust, Nightmare, send Wand, banish Wand, summon back Nightmare, and then summon the Galatea, and then these can make like Longirsu or second Galatea or whatever, or IP, which is what I end up doing anyway, because I'm going for Babel, right? So yeah. Grab Babel, and then make Dingirsu, and then make IP, and that's like the play that I choose to end on. Obviously keeping this Eagle Booster in hand so I can pitch something. Now this is actually kind of a bit of a problem here, because I used Unicorn already, so I can't actually IP into Unicorn, and that's going to matter a lot. So yeah, I go ahead and standby phase, just use the Nightmare for Symbol so he can't like disrupt me at any point before his main phase, and then I just, you know, let him proceed. So he has Pankratops, which he kept in going first, and he drew it in his opening hand, so that makes things a lot harder, because like he can just threaten whatever he wants, like and force out my Dingirsu, because or a Symbol for Dingirsu, because, you know, it's big, right? It's just huge. So yeah, I have that to worry about, but he goes and summons the Seismus. And from here, I just kind of like think about if I want to do anything like on summon, but I just let it happen. Then he tries to enter battle phase. I go to activate Symbol, and then he goes ahead and uses the Seismus to try and target the Ding. But this is why I value Appaloosa, is just so that like I can ensure that my plays kind of resolve. Because like even though like I could play reactively, like this kind of board sort of loses to that, since it's so easily vulnerable to just the battle phase. But Appaloosa kind of just makes up for that difference. Then I opt for Dingirsu to just attach, simply because I just want protection from Pankratops. Because like he can attack over something, I can protect it, and then if he uses the other effect, I can use my other Appaloosa negate. So this kind of forces him to use his Seismus, like again. So yeah, he does that again, and then he asks to leave the main phase again, and then I think about IP, but then I realize, oh, I don't have Unicorn anymore, so that was definitely a mistake on my part. If I wanted to do this play, I probably should have just thought about the unicorn earlier. It probably would have been wiser than to just go for like the nightmare plus like the Longirsu stuff that I was talking about before. But yeah, so I think that was like the big misplay of this game. But yeah. So he enters battle phase now, and he clears my Appaloosa. And then he actually goes main phase 2 because he has another banishment, so he wants to get his Void Imagination. So he's gonna Imagination, and that's gonna be a huge threat, especially because I only have 7 extra deck cards left at this point. So clearing 3 of them with Tierra is like really, really bad. It means that I am going to run very low in resources. Door is really bad against Noids, obviously because they don't activate. I figure it's too late for Tornado, and I figure Barricade, again, it's like not really offering that much. So I thought those are the best cards to send. He's gonna send a couple of Entices and another Tierra. So he pops Babel and he pops Longirsu. He chooses not to go for the Tigers, which I found pretty interesting. It kind of just allowed me to kind of just go off. Oh, also he didn't use Sightsamus. I just realized this actually. I don't remember what he attacked Appaloosa with, but he didn't use Sightsamus to banish one of my Tigers. I just noticed that. So I guess I kind of got lucky there. They didn't use that. But anyways, my board is cleared. I have to do with a DD Crow and a Pankratops basically. So that's actually kind of like rough because there's not a lot that I can use to force out the Pankratops. Because like these Tigers summoning back the Lunalights, like it's good, but like will it actually do enough? And Armageddon Knight obviously is nothing good to send. Here I played Augusto Emerald, and the opts not to pop it, which is like really, really good for me because that allows me to recycle some crucial extra deck monsters. I bring back Longirsu, Appaloosa, and Unicorn just to like have more outs to stuff. And I draw a Jackalope, which is pretty nice. It allows me to just try and extend further. I draw another Eagle Booster, so it doesn't really advance my game state that way, but yeah, I try and now just clear the board. I can make the Unicorn that I just put back, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And then I force out the Pankratops because I just want that threat kind of gone. Because like the Sightsamus will probably be back because he resolved Void Imagination last turn, right? So like I'm probably gonna have to continually deal with that, but I just want Pankratops out of this game because I know that like that's something I just don't have to worry about after that. But here I use Martin. I think he's just waiting on the Sightsamus just to clear my Orcust stuff, which is pretty smart because like he knows that that's pretty much all that's gonna matter. I target Galatea. He basically banishes the Galatea, but I have Wand in there still, I believe. So yeah, I can just Wand back the Galatea. Yeah, I use the Galatea to set the Crescendo, which I still have, so that's pretty good. I have Negation if I can keep this online. And I believe I have Nightmare left. Yes, I'm going to Nightmare target Galatea, so she becomes 26 because I'm sending Wand. And then here's a pretty cool play. I make Eviswarm Nightmare in the extra monster zone up there, so it's linked to Galatea. So Galatea can't be destroyed by battle now. So I'm just going to attack into the Sightsamus. And she lives. So I do have a Nightmare backed up by a Crescendo, so being able to kind of rebound from that pretty well was pretty good. I think that turn made up for my misplays the previous turn. And this is kind of like the board that I probably should have had set up the previous turn. It would have made things a lot easier on my end. But then again, he also had Imagination, so I don't think I really had a reliable way to stop that unless if I like made Tornado Dragon. But what were the odds that he opened up 2 Vanishment, really? I guess not like the lowest chance, but I didn't anticipate it. So he summons Sightsamus. I book it. He opts not to chain. So I guess that's fine. He makes another Sightsamus, and I book it again. I didn't realize that that Evilswarm Nightmare isn't once per turn, so that's like really, really good. So yeah, I'm burning through quite a lot of his Infernoids pretty fast. He only has a handful of them left. So if I can just get through this grind game, like his Feast play is gone, his Imaginations play is gone, and like Noids can't really do anything after they use all the graveyard resources. Like nobody's really playing any like actual recovery, because the idea is if you resolve those blowout cards, you should win the game. So yeah, like if I can actually get past this grind, then it should be fairly in my favor. But he has a Lilith, which is going to complicate things, as you'll see. Because I choose to not negate it with the Crescendo, which maybe was a mistake. I just wanted to keep Galatea online so I could shuffle back stuff and play with the Orcust engine a bit more. Because like the idea was to try and just negate the Etano when it tries to like double attack, but he actually gets the Sanctum. He reveals some other cards that wouldn't have mattered, but he gets the Sanctum, which is pretty rough because that means that it's going to be harder for me to push the following turn. So he kills my Nightmare and he tries to attack again, and then crescendo that. And that's also a good thing rather than like negating the Lilith, because it gets the Tondal not back in the graveyard, so that's one less Infernoid name that I have to kind of contend with. So he only has 2 Infernoids in grave, and he has 2 Infernoids on field. So he has 4 Noids left, like immediately, which is really, really nice. But he does rip the Sanctum, so he gets a Scythe, and that kind of complicates things for me a bit further. Here I make some weird plays. Definitely what I should have done here, like Galatea was fine, but what I should have done here was I should use Martin to just bounce this Emerald Bird back, and then just normal summon the Emerald Bird. I get back Babel, which is fine, but I'm about to use Martin to bounce Tiger, but like these can't attack anyway, and they can't go into battle phase, so I don't know why I didn't just bounce back the actual Lunalight monsters and normal summon, because like you're gonna see that I make a kind of an interesting play with Orcust Nightmare. So I have Wand from last turn that I sent off the Nightmare, to boost Galatea and whatnot, to bring back the Orcust Nightmare, and like I'm thinking, okay, so what's a good way that I can like actually clear the board, and like what I do here is I crash the Orcust Nightmare into the Artifact Scythe. So I take the 2100 damage, and then I go ahead, I use Galatea, and then I kill the Cytimus. He uses Banishment to actually banish both of them. Oh yeah, actually the Cytimus I think should have been banished too. But anyways, okay, so what happened there? Oh yeah, I was gonna use the Nightmare after I crash it to send Symbol, and then Symbol would revive Dingirsu. So like that was like the idea of my play. Had I just used the Martin smartly, I could have used this Dingirsu to attach instead of to send, because I want to like clear the whole board. So yeah, definitely that was also another misplay on my part. Yeah, looking back, that one was like really, really obvious. Like the first one like was maybe debatable. This one absolutely was like really easy to see. So yeah, I should have absolutely just bounced the Lunalight name so I can use it as a beater. But in the end phase, at least I get like a banished Martin back, which is like not the end of the world. And yeah, he has a couple more noise left. Yeah, I think the one Cytimus should have been banished, but like I guess that's fine because he can't summon both this turn anyway. So I guess in the end it didn't make a difference. But yeah, so yeah, long grind game. I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. Alright, so yeah, he summons Cytimus and he banishes my Dingirsu instead of the Tiger. He just wants to get rid of all my Orcust cards, and to be fair, like this is like the entire Orcust ratio that I play, but I still have this Crescendo left, so I can Crescendo back something. I have Crescendo Engrave left still. So yeah. I go ahead and do that in the end phase, and the only real thing I can get back is Wand, because like everything's banished, so nothing else matters. So I have to get back Wand here. And now the big problem is like, how am I going to clear this Cytimus, without putting Wand in grave? But I don't really think at this point it's realistically that possible. Simply because like there's nothing left in my extra deck that can actually force it out. So yeah, or at least like reliably force it. Yeah. So like I guess maybe I could have just like gone for a Borosaur, but I was also afraid of this back row. So I still have Phoenix left. Amazingly, after all this time I have Phoenix. So I get rid of the Trap Trick, which actually is dead. He has no targets. It would have been bad if I just hit a Trap Trick and he could have like, I don't know, Sanctum me again. Actually no, he milled a Sanctum off the TRS, so he couldn't have done that. But anyways, like in theory, like if there was another Sanctum play, that would have been scary. But he's gonna use Cytimus to get rid of the Wand. So that leaves me basically just left entirely on my Lunalight engine to close things out. So I use the second Tiger. So like these Tigers that are being left in scale are really putting in a lot of work. So I make a Borosaur, and then I bring back Emerald Bird, and I attack for some damage. I tell him that Emerald Bird can't attack, obviously, because Tiger restrictions. Emerald Bird dies, I bring back the Martin, and then go ahead and pass. Here he has... Okay, so here is where... Oh no, he only has 2 Noids. Yeah, so we're fine. Yeah, here he top decks the Banishment, and he has no cards to discard. So we finally successfully navigated our way out of this intense grind. So yeah, that was a game that I think it was inevitable kind of that there was going to be a grind, given the fact that he had Feast and a second Banishment that I didn't really know that he would have had. So like I would have had to have contended with the Feast plus Imagination regardless, but there could have been better ways to contend with the, you know, the setup like mid game. Tell me what you guys would have done like on the turn that I made the Unicorn to shuffle back the Sajet. Would you have gone for that? Would you have gone for Longirsu? Like what would have your play been? I'm interested in that. But in the end, it did work out. I think personally, looking back, if I would have played this match again, I would have probably gone for like Nightmare plus just the heavy Orcust play and then like Crescendo instead of the Babel. Probably would have been more useful. But yeah, and also obviously the play that I should have just bounced back the Emerald Bird with the Martin. Don't know why I didn't do that, but that was really obvious and I should have done that. So definitely that was like the one thing I would definitively change. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know this was a little bit of a longer episode, but yeah, intense grind game. And you know, Infernoids are still a bit of a rogue pick, but not too uncommon. So like, it's something that you guys can definitely run into at even like regionals or higher tier events. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comment section down below. Feel free to subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on Discord, Twitter, or Twitch. All 3 links are in the description as always. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I will catch you in the next video. See you guys.